Distrait. Bon, gars, on finit ça, bon, on va de bon. C'est moi qui suis distrait. Bon.
Tu as habitué aux caméras quand même, ça vite les pieds en avance.
Hello guys, my name is Junior and this is my speech. Today I have decided to tell you guys a little bit more about Barcelona FC. Barcelona FC is actually a Spanish soccer club created in 1899. And they started as actually a small club, and today they are considered one of the most historic and successful club in soccer history. So, Barcelona FC was created on October 22nd, 1899, when the first president, Hans Gamper, placed an advertisement in Los Deportes declaring his wish to form a soccer club. A positive response resulted in the meeting at the Gimnasio Solé on November 29. 11 players actually attended. Barcelona FC had a successful start in regional and national cups, competing in the Championnat of Catalonia and the Copa del Rey. In 1902, the club won its first trophy, the Copa Macaya, and participated in the first Copa del Rey, losing 1-2 to BSK in the finals. Now, the Rivera Republic and Civil War. On June 14, 1925, in a spontaneous reaction against Primo de Rivera dictatorship, the crowd in the stadium jeered the Royal March. As a reprisal, the ground was closed for 6 months and Gamper was forced to relinquish the presidency of the club. This coincided with the transition to professional football, and in 1926, the dictators of Barcelona publicly claimed for the first time to operate a professional football club. On 1978, Josep Luis Núñez became the first elected president of FC Barcelona, and since then, the members of Barcelona have elected the club president. The process of electing the president of FC Barcelona was closely tied to Spain's transition to democracy in 1974 at the end of Franco dictatorship. The new president's main objective was to develop Barcelona in a world-class club by giving it stability both on and off the pitch. His presidency was to last for 22 years, and it deeply affected the image of Barcelona, as Núñez held to a strict policy regarding wages and discipline, letting go of such players as Maradona. Maradona was from Argentina, Romario from Brazil, Ronaldo from Brazil, rather than meeting their demand. Now I'm going to talk about the new era of Barcelona FC. In 1988, Johan Cruyff returned to the club as a manager and he assembled the so-called Dream Team. He used a mix of Spanish players like Pep Guardiola, Jose Mari Becerro, and Txiki Begiristain, while signing international players such as Ronald Koeman, Michael Laudrup, Romario, and Istro Stoichkov. It was 10 years after the inception of the youth program La Masia when the young players began to graduate and play for the first team. One of the first graduates who would later earn international acclaim was previous Barcelona coach Pep Guardiola. Now I'm going to talk about the Guardiola era. Pep Guardiola is considered the best manager FC Barcelona has ever had in history. He started by coaching the B team, the Barcelona B team, and he took over Frank Rijkaard, who was the manager, the coach at that time, do this at the conclusion of the season. So Guardiola brought with him the now famous tiki-taka style of play. The tiki-taka style of play is like quick ball, quick ball, and have been taught during his time in the Barcelona youth team. In the process, Guardiola sold Ronaldinho and Deco. Ronaldinho is one of the best players ever. He's from Brazil also. So Barcelona has a solid team before his arrival, but he had a different vision for the club. So he sold Deco, he sold Ronaldinho, he sold Samuel Eto'o, and he actually brought some young players from the Masia, from the B team, such as Sergio Busquets, Pedro, David Villa, etc. So, the recent history of Barcelona FC. It was announced in summer of 2002 that Tito Villanova, who was the assistant coach at that time, would take over when Guardiola left. And what happened is, a year later, he died. And they called a new manager from Argentina. His name is Tata Martino, who unfortunately didn't succeed. The tax was just over his possibilities. And then after Tata Martino, since it wasn't working out, they had to call a new manager. And that guy also played for Barcelona in 1988 and actually was coaching another team in the Spanish Championship. His name is Luis Enrique, and he came in. So something I forgot to mention is, during his era from 2008 to 2012, Pep Guardiola has won 16 trophies for the club, including 3 Champions Leagues, 4 La Liga, 3 Copa del Rey, etc. And his player Messi, under him, has won a total of 4 Ballon d'Or, the Golden Ball. So no one could ever imagine this club having such a success again until the new man, Luis Enrique, was brought in 2 years ago. His first year at the club was very successful. At the end of the season, he won 3 major trophies: the Champions League, La Liga, the Copa del Rey. And currently, they are in Japan playing the World Championship Cup, which I believe they're going to win again. Now, support. Barcelona have been getting support. They've been in partnership with UNICEF, Qatar Airways. You know, they also get money from the images, right? The players signed with big companies, corporation, etc. The club rivalry. There has always been a rivalry between Real Madrid, who is actually the capital of Spain, but they have their own soccer team called Real Madrid, and Barcelona from Catalonia. There has always been a rivalry between those two clubs. Real Madrid is known and considered as the most successful club in soccer history, considering the fact that they won 10 Champions League. They have many trophies. Many trophies. So there has always been a rivalry between Barcelona FC and Real Madrid. Lately, Barcelona seems to be taking over, considering the fact that Real Madrid is no longer winning. You know, last season they won nothing. This season they also on the way of winning nothing. So I'm not even sure if we can keep calling this rivalry, because there's no more rivalry. Barcelona FC is simply the best team at the moment in Spain. So I actually have a few friends, supporters of Real Madrid, and myself as a supporter of Barcelona FC. You know, we sometimes argue, but what I actually like about them is that they know and they recognize themselves that Barcelona is the best team in the world. El Clasico vs Real Madrid. El Clasico is actually when Barcelona and Real Madrid play against each other. Is actually the most intense game you could ever imagine watching. They actually bring, the two of them, they can bring up to 600 million viewers for one game. That's why they call it El Clasico, the classic. Finances and ownership. Barcelona is actually owned from, Barcelona is owned, a new guy just bought the club. He's from Benin. Benin is in West Africa actually. So they have a new owner, and his name is Amusu Bruno. He bought the club, so he's a new owner. Record, they won plenty of trophies. They actually have a total of almost 350 trophies since their creation. Stadium, the stadium is called the Camp Nou, and has a possibility to have up to 98,000 people. So you can just imagine the fury, the joy to be in such a stadium. Honor, domestic competition, European competition, worldwide competition. Domestic competition is actually called the Liga, and also have the Copa del Rey. European competition is the Champions League. The worldwide competition is like the one they're playing right now, the World Cup Championship, etc. The players, the most historic players, we can say Maradona can be considered as one, Ronaldinho can be considered as one. Players become a coach, as I said earlier, Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique. Current squad, they have actually a current squad of 22 players, 11 on the pitch, 11 on the bench. Lionel Messi, Neymar, Luis Suarez, Mascherano, Piqué, Dani Alves, Jordi Alba, Rakitic, Sergio Busquets, Andres Iniesta. And there are some players out on loans also, like Song, Alexander, Afellay, etc. Salaries. They actually pay good money to their players. Like the top paid players is actually Lionel Messi, who is considered the best player in the world. His salary is he's like $300,000 weekly. Now the personnel and management, the current technical staff. The current technical staff, we have people from Benin, from Togo, from Guinea, from Gabon, from Spain, from the US, etc. The board members, as I said, the club is now owned from the club is now owned from by Amusu Bruno, who is from Benin, and his assistant is actually Umar Ba from Gabon. And yes, so guys, this is the end of my speech. I'm glad I was able to introduce you to Barcelona FC, who is one of the most successful soccer club in history. They are located in Spain, in Barcelona. The stadium is called the Camp Nou. And thank you. Bye.